Hi, I'm Beth Comstock, and I'm starting a new series here called The Future in 5. We're all trying to navigate change, get ready for change. What I thought we could do is learn from people who are trying to invent the future and give us great examples of leadership and dealing with what's ahead. This is The Future in 5. First question for you, Nanxi, is just tell us who are you, what's your story?
I'm Nanxi Liu. I'm the CEO, co-founder of Enplug, and we are the modern digital signage software platform. We built the first open platform for managing content on digital displays. So any kind of display you see in stadiums or companies, we're the software that allows you to show interactive social media. We let anyone build apps and integrate all sorts of sensors and tools with displays.
How did you get to be a founder, a serial entrepreneur, at still a relatively ripe young age? How did that happen?
It was totally accidental. When I was growing up in Colorado, I don't think entrepreneurship was really a concept that I grasped or even was around. All the folks that I knew were engineers. My parents were engineers and teachers, and so that was the world that I grew up in. And so going into entrepreneurship was the fact I think I just loved building stuff.
But I seem to recall you were a pianist, is that right?
I was,
and you got piano scholarships to go to school.
Yep.
So how did you put your head together with the piano side of you and the engineering side of you and decide to turn that into entrepreneurship?
Well, piano actually was probably my first business that I ran because starting in middle school, I started teaching piano. And so I would go market myself and then I would have these add-on costs. Like if I have to travel to your home, then I'll charge you extra for that.
Oh, you were such an entrepreneur.
Oh yeah, I know.
Who did you teach? Did you teach people your own age, older people?
Students that were like 5, 6 years old, all the way to adults. And so I
I
started
would
doing
have loved to have
middle
you as
school.
a teacher. Did you hit?
I would love to.
Did you hit people on the fingers, or were you nice? My piano teacher rapped me on the fingers with her ruler. Did you do that?
I did not do that.
Yeah, you seem like you'd be a nicer teacher.
Going into college was spending a lot of time, like 10% of the time on schoolwork, 90% of the time starting different businesses. So freshman year was these Arduino computer chips that allowed the lamps on campus to turn on and off based on how bright it was outside. And then I started this application where people could text 911. And then the university gave me $10,000 for that. So it was all these little projects that I was working on, not intending it to be businesses, but they were making money. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll just keep doing this. And then I started a biotech company, Nanxi Bioscience.
As one does. You just started a biotech company. What, you were a junior or a sophomore, junior in college?
I was a senior.
Okay.
I worked on a biomedical device product with a couple friends from high school my sophomore year, and that inspired me to do more in healthcare. And so senior year was developing this polymer that eliminated refrigeration for vaccines. And that received funding from Intel and Dell, and we won Airbus's Materials and Manufacturing Award in 2015. And so that's still successfully operating. That company is based in Colorado.
I'm tired just hearing you, because it's so amazing you've been able to do all these things. What do you think it takes to be an entrepreneur? I mean, one, I'm just hearing you're very optimistic, and it sounds like you're able to see an opportunity maybe where others don't. But what do you think it takes to be a good entrepreneur?
I think a couple of things. The first one is being able to inspire people to join you. I think what I've learned is anytime that I'm in a room, I want to make sure all the people I work with are really talented at what they do. So being able to identify talented people, being able to bring them together is extremely important, probably first and foremost as an entrepreneur, because I know all the great products I've been able to do, I did not do it alone. I had an incredible team, people who are way smarter than me building the product. So I think that's really important, is to be able to identify talent and then convince them to join you. The second part is tons and tons of perseverance and grit. Being okay with rejection, but not taking no as a final answer, and always striving for more.
So you said earlier that you had failed a couple of times.
Many times.
So do you think people like to fail? I don't think people like to fail, but you have to fail, right? How have you gotten your head around it? You've obviously been very successful from a very early age. How have you gotten your head around the need to fail as part of going forward, or is there a different way to look at it?
Well, I never want to fail. And I certainly, whenever I go into something, I try not to fail. But ultimately, I guess for me, I'm not scared of failing. I don't want to fail, but I'm not scared to fail. And I think because just growing up, I lost and failed so many times that now it doesn't scare me to go and try something else.
So it sounds like it's kind of your operating system. It's the way you work, is you just sort of put yourself out there. Yeah, you talk a lot about team and culture, and I've read a lot of things written about you. How do you build a great culture? I mean, a lot of people, I say often today, I think any leader's job is culture and change. And you have to make it very personal, and I think that sounds like you've taken that to heart. How do you build a good culture?
I think the big piece of building culture is having the leadership own that culture, really believe in that culture, and love the culture that they're building. And so for us, I think part of Enplug's culture, the dynamic of having lots of fun but working really hard, being very family oriented, I think that started with the fact that when we started the company, we all moved in together. We lived together.
You actually live together.
We live together.
Oh my gosh, I like the people I work with, but I'm not sure we do well living together.
We live together. It's a whole complexity.
You got to know each other well, right?
Very well. I mean, if there's one way, because for my co-founders, we actually didn't know each other. We weren't friends. We purely came together because we believed in Enplug. We saw this massive opportunity for digital display software. And so to get to really know each other, we're like, well, let's just go and live together.
Oh, that's crazy.
And you know, we first lived in this 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment in Koreatown, here in LA. And you know, by the end of 3 months, we still had all our fingers. Nobody killed another.
You're brave.
So we're like,
you're brave.
This is working out.
What are you reading or watching? Any new discoveries that any recommendations you can share?
So I'm reading right now Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman.
Yeah.
It's so far very, very good. I had heard lots of great things about it, so I'm reading that right now. And then watching Black Mirrors, because I'm in tech.
Yeah, it's a little too near future, isn't it?
It's very intense, and so I can only watch like one episode every week, and then I have to give myself some
binge watching. I know, it takes a lot of work. Well, Nanxi, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you
so
much,
Beth. I really appreciate it. Thank you.